If you use AI for a lot of research, whether it's for school or for work, then this video is perfect for you. In just a few minutes, you will learn about what is causing you to always hit your chat limit frequently and fast, why reading on the browser is not good for your focus and comprehension, what you can do about it if you already have a tablet like an iPad or reMarkable at home. Now, since Claude is my AI of choice for deep research, I'll give you a demo using that and show you a much better workflow. So let's get started. There are two main problems when you start using AI for research. The first is allowance limit, where if you hit this limit, you can't chat anymore until a new allowance is added to your account. And the second is chat length limit, where if your chat has gotten too long, you have to create a new chat and start from the beginning again. Now, both of these are really problematic and they give me anxiety all the time because when I'm deep in researching and learning things, these kind of limit warnings show up suddenly. Then I get really stressed out because that means either I have to wait for hours until my allowance is back, or I have to restart a new chat and explain everything from the start to this new AI agent, which is not very efficient. So I really don't want either of these things to happen while I'm deep in the middle of my research, and especially before I finish my work on that topic. To understand why my solutions makes a lot of sense, I have to first show you exactly what the problem is with the default setup that most people are using. Okay, so this is Claude's chat window. I have already asked Claude to do research for me by giving it this prompt. And after waiting almost 10 minutes and Claude visiting hundreds of sources, it has created me this document that I can immediately start reading. Now, typically, I would click this and start reading. And when I have a question, I would immediately type in my question. I think most people do this. And they would copy and click explain, and then that kind of back and forth keeps going. That is exactly the problem. You see, it's kind of like a trap. You are encouraged to kind of like skim through, and then the moment you don't understand, you immediately ask a question. And if you do this several times, as you can see, immediately the chat length itself has grown substantially. And without realizing it, you will hit your chat allowance limit as well. And then you got to wait for hours. I think this is the biggest trap that everybody falls into. And not only that, because you've got these two sides that you got to focus on, the left side, which is your conversation with Claude, and the right side, which is the report, your focus is split, literally split. While you are reading Claude's response, let's say Claude said something that doesn't make any sense, you kind of get invited to want to respond to that. And after a few minutes, you'll start hitting this limit. And this happened so many times to me, and that I decided not to do that anymore. And I've come up with a much better way in which I will show you next in the next part. Here's the solution. Once your AI return with a document, a research document like this, you don't want to start reading it. You want to first save it immediately as a PDF. But before you hit save, you want to make sure that there is enough margins so that you can annotate it with all your questions in this single PDF file. That's the goal. So make sure the orientation is not set on portrait because as you can see, there's not much space there. And even if you increase the margin, the text becomes smaller and smaller and it's harder to read. So I would highly recommend using landscape instead. You would rather have a bit more pages of the research report as long as it doesn't give you stress later when you are annotating it. So once the PDF of that research report has been downloaded into your desktop, you have two options here. If you have a reMarkable, what you want to do is to download the reMarkable app and set up your cloud service so that you can sync this PDF document quickly to your reMarkable tablet. And the way you would do it is by drag and dropping to the folder where you usually keep your Claude research report. Alternatively, if you have an iPad instead, the only thing you got to do is just share this and airdrop it to your iPad device. And it's very simple. You just open it in your iPad and just start annotating directly on the PDF. The key here is that you want to spend a good 10 to 15 minutes slowly reading through your PDF and annotate in such a way that you can expand or clarify to Claude whatever it is that you have in a single document. So think of it like bundling all your questions that you have in your mind while reading in one single shot. Now that I have finished my reading and annotating sessions on my tablet, I'm going to show you what it looks like once I export it back into the PDF on my computer. As you can see here, I have about 13 pages, and each of these pages have multiple questions. And just imagine if I were to ask this in the browser in real time while I'm reading this. I would get really distracted. My chat limit will hit quickly. I will have to wait for a few hours or start a new window. I wouldn't even be able to keep track of what I don't understand or what I understand. But the annotation marking made it all very clear and give me a way to bring this back to Claude and have Claude answer all of that in one go. Now, I have drag and dropped the annotated PDF back to Claude and ask it to clarify my annotations. What you want to be careful about here is to make sure that Claude has actually responded to every annotation mark on your PDF, because it's not perfect. It might miss several places, and that's what you need to double check on. When it comes to the answer from the annotations itself, you can dramatically improve this by improving your prompt. But since this video is about saving token allowance and token limits, I will not go through that in more detail. If you want me to create a video about that, leave a comment, and that way I will know that you're interested in that kind of video. So for today, that's all that I have to share with you. I hope this video was helpful. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.